All right, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me and you can hear me. What's up, Amin? What's up, Andreas? What's up, Carla? What's up, everybody else? Great to see everybody here. Nice to know we got Amin and Andreas from our new Crypto and DeFi Academy. We're kicking that off on Monday. Honestly, I think you guys pretty much chose the best time, since the beginning of human history to join this course. I know, Amin, you've been in the market since 17, but look, this is the perfect time. Obviously, today we just had the employment numbers come out in the States, and there were only 73,000 jobs created for the month. But more importantly, they took down the numbers of the previous 2 months to where it looks like there was really no job growth in May and June, which is pretty shocking and should be a huge indication that we need to cut rates in September from the Fed. Now, look, a lot of people in crypto are saying that alt season is not going to come until the Fed cuts rates. We really need that cheap money sloshing around before people can buy the coins at the end of the spectrum. Not necessarily the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. Those are going up regardless because institutions are buying those. They're going into treasury companies. And let's be honest, stable coins have grown 800% in the last year, and most of them run on Ethereum rails. And I think the banking industry is starting to realize they better own some of those rails. So that's going. But for the altcoins, we really need that rate cut. And I don't know if you saw, but Polymarket today, the chance of a 25 basis point rate cut went from, I think, 20 or 30% up to 80%. So it looks, as long as inflation data doesn't come in hot this month, that we'll probably get that rate cut that obviously Trump has been, pining for and threatening firing over. But now it looks like there could be clear evidence that the Fed's going to cut. Also, you probably saw two Fed governors decided to disagree publicly with the Fed chair, and the meetings came out. This hasn't happened in 30 years. So there really is some dissent happening inside the Fed. And I think now Jerome is probably going to have to just go ahead and give up the 25 bips. Look, a lot of people have been saying that inflation numbers are much lower than we think. There's a great company called Trueflation. I actually know those guys are on the blockchain. We actually almost invested in them about a year ago inside London Real Ventures. And they've got inflation numbers like well below 1.6%. And the Fed is this old clunky government organization that uses the worst ways to try to get data. Whereas Trueflation uses like real-time payments from all of these electronic providers. I mean, literally, I think what the Fed does is they send letters out to people and ask you what you're paying for your eggs and stuff. It's pretty backwards. So this is good news for crypto. Obviously, yesterday, Trump jacked the tariffs up for everybody in the world who hadn't signed a deal. Most importantly, Brazil, India, and a few others. And the markets are off a couple percent because of it. Crypto's off as well. But honestly, I think it's going to roll right through that. And I think Canada is going to be pressured to sign an agreement. Mexico's obviously was given a little bit of a reprieve. And I think this will be back in business and will be back to all-time highs in the next couple of weeks. Look, last thing, August is typically a bad month for crypto. But again, I never really read into that because every August is very different, and it could really mean anything. So that's where we're at. Today, I want to do a few things. I want to talk about how some of these issues are affecting crypto and affecting Fed cuts. I want to answer any of your questions. I also want to show you some of the deals we're doing behind the scenes that my members are making a lot of money on. And it's something that we specialize in here at London Real. And it's something that no one else is really teaching or giving access to the deals. And of course, our Crypto and DeFi Academy starts on Monday. It's 4 weeks. It'll take you from zero to hero in all things Bitcoin and blockchain. And we roll our sleeves up. I don't know if you guys have looked at the curriculum, Amin and Andreas, but we don't play around. Next week, in the second week, you'll be doing your first decentralized finance trade. In week 3, you'll be doing some complex DeFi trades. In week 4, you'll be learning how to actually run a portfolio with stop losses and a lot of disciplined trading habits. We're going to get you set up with hot wallets, cold wallets, centralized exchanges. You're really going to come up the curve. And here at London Real, we believe that we learn by taking action, not by watching another video and reading another article. We learn by getting in there and doing the stuff that makes your stomach churn. Go ahead and put some money out there. And look, we use small amounts of money, 25, 50 bucks, but we actually get in and use these DeFi platforms. And that's the thing that most people never do on their own. Did you know that only 3% of all crypto holders have ever done a DeFi trade? Did you know that? I mean, isn't that crazy? 3%. And I go to these conferences all around the world, and I tell my students, and I'll tell you guys, in 4 weeks' time, you will know more about crypto than 99% of the people at the Bitcoin conference at the Consensus Conference and at the Token 2049 Conference. I'll be in at Singapore on October 1st. And a lot of people don't believe me, but those people, they do not have their cold wallet set up. They don't have, they've never done a DeFi trade on Aave and collected yield. These people really don't, they don't know what a stop loss is. They wouldn't know how to put one in. And yet they're walking around with their, I've seen guys with $10 million in crypto on their MetaMask wallet on their iPhone at a conference. Like they're walking around like totally just clueless about their security. And so I would just say, we're going to get you all set up in that course. It's a lot of fun. We take a lot of action too. So good. Look, guys, let's jump in. If you got any questions along the way, feel free to DM me. I just cooked up this thing right off the presses. And again, feel free to message me and ask me any questions. Can everybody see these two good looking guys up here? Both pro crypto. And here it is, folks. Nothing stops this train. Trump is predicting this Fed collapse that's going to spark this massive crypto shockwave. You got two things happening out there. Treasury companies buying huge chunks of crypto. You've also got the Fed that's going to have to cut rates, that's going to pump tons of cheap money, and it's going to go right into crypto. The one thing that's obvious, I think, right now is the last thing you want to hold is dollars or any other fiat currency right now. Honestly, you'd rather hold a piece of real estate or a stock or a crypto, because holding money is just a great way for you to watch it just disappear. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this presentation, it's really for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you're looking for advice, please go find a professional. I also want to give you module 1 of our super premium program called the Investment Club. This was where I got about 150 of our members. I consider them my family, behind the scenes, making millions and tens of millions of dollars in these early stage companies. I'll show you a few examples later. And this is module 1. If you're watching this later, you can go to londonreal.tv/download. But I'm going to send you this 19-page PDF document right now. And guys, through the beautiful power of Zoom, I'm actually going to send it to you on this chat. Now, you guys in the crypto and DeFi course, I don't want you spending too much time on this module. But the truth is, guys, we're going to bring you onto the Investment Club call on Monday night, because it's nice to know there's a method to my madness. When I'm teaching you how to use these instruments, it's nice to know that this is exactly how you invest in an early stage company. This is how you can get a 20x return. This is how you do these things. So I just sent that PDF. Did you guys get that file into your chats on Zoom? Okay, Amin got it. Fantastic. Andreas, take a look for that as well, and Carla as well. So fantastic. Let me jump back to this presentation. So read that PDF when you have some spare time. It'll show you what we're doing behind the scenes. I also want to give you a free video at the end of this presentation. It's going to show you how to find the hottest crypto pre-sale tokens in 3 easy steps. And it'll show you everything we're doing behind the scenes. I'll give you a link to that video at the end of the presentation. What is a pre-sale token? A lot of people are asking. Do you guys know what a pre-sale token is? Amin or Andreas? Okay, Amin does. Good. It's actually the practice of secretly buying tokens from a CEO before anyone in the market has access to buy those tokens. That's what it is. It's like a private sale when it comes to equity. You can do the same things with tokens. The good news is you can usually get tokens for pennies on the dollar. And when they get listed on an exchange, like one of our companies got listed yesterday, it's called Naris Protocol. It's a post-quantum computing protocol. It's got NATO generals on their board, and they're basically going to provide post-quantum security to blockchains and everything else. Does that kind of make sense? It's a pretty cool play. They just got listed on Binance, Bybit, BitGet. And yeah, I mean, the token went crazy because all of a sudden you got 1 million people that can buy this token in the world. Honestly, there's no other post-quantum chain out there. So everybody's aping in. So what we do is buy the tokens before they go public. And that's how we've seen some huge gains. By the way, has anyone heard of this token here called Solana before? Probably you have, Amin. Andreas, I'm sure you know what it is, right? Carla, you too. Well, it's the 5th largest token out there right now. But did you know you could have bought this as a pre-sale token for 4 pennies on the dollar? Did anybody know that? Now it trades about $200 each. If you had put $1,000 into that pre-sale token buy, that one trade would be worth $5 million. And that shows you the asymmetric returns in crypto. Now, could anybody here use an extra $5 million right about now? Anybody? Amin's in. Andreas is, he's like, no, Brian, I got enough money. That's okay. But look, $5 million, look, it's enough to give you a little bit of clarity, right? To give you some breathing room. And so you can go figure out what you really want to do with your life. One thing I will say as a quick aside, unlike most people that talk about crypto in the world, I think most people in crypto tell you that the money is the end goal. That's not the truth with London Real, because I've been there before. I was a successful banker and I was miserable because I had no purpose. What I believe wealth gives you is the chance to take a step back from this cycle of poverty and paycheck to paycheck and stress about money that a lot of us are in at a variety of income levels, right? I knew guys in the city making 10 million a year who were broke as a joke. I know it sounds silly, but it's true. And what we want to do is give you the wealth so you can take a step back and find your true purpose in the world and find out what you really want to do with your life. Does that make sense just to everybody here? And so I really want to stress that. Look, money is important, but I don't think it's the end goal. And I think one of the biggest problems people have in this world is they think that's the goal and they get there and they're like, wow, I'm still miserable. Yeah, of course you are, because you haven't found your purpose. But now we can find it without having that day-to-day constant stress about money. So that's what we want to do. And what I'm trying to do is make every member in my club at least $5 million so they can do that. Folks, this is a deal we did about 6 months ago, and this is the legal document called the SAF that we signed. Can everyone see that blue circle here on the screen? Okay, that's how much we invested, $200,000. That's our typical ticket size inside London Real Ventures. Can everyone see this red circle? That's the price we paid per token. So that's actually 1.25 pennies. So we bought the tokens cheaper than Solana in this case. Well, what happened? Well, in about 4 hours, that token was up 20x on the launch. The company was called Skillful AI, and we made a $4 million profit for our members in about 4 hours. Not bad, right? This is the CEO. His name is Zoltan. And of course, as you probably know, when London Real invests in you, you also get your own episode in the studio to promote your company, to get more customers. And this is one of the reasons we've been so successful, because the CEOs really want this. So Zoltan came in, had his interview with me. After the show, he said, Brian, hold on to your tokens. This is going to 100x. You're going to be making 20 million soon. And I said, great, we will. And the next thing he said really shocked me. He said, Brian, I want to join your investment club. Now, here I was talking to one of the biggest CEOs in the business, and I thought, Zoltan, surely you see better deal flow than I see. And he said, no, Brian, you see better deal flow than me because you have a massive media platform with 1 billion views and 5 million subscribers. He said, you get deals I can't get access to. You get tokens cheaper than I can, and you get the tokens vested faster, which means he can sell them faster. And I was like, okay, wow, I never thought one of our portfolio CEOs would ask to join. So of course, I told him what I tell everybody: if you want to join, you got to talk to Martini, and she doesn't do discounts, is what I told him. And so sure enough, I gave him her number, and 2 weeks later, he joined. So if you ever join our investment club calls, you'll see Zoltan there alongside the rest of my members. He's done 13 deals with us, and he's also one of our portfolio companies. Pretty cool, right? Right? Pretty cool. And I think it's just a testament to what we're doing behind the scenes. Folks, this is another deal we called Shrapnel. This is actually a game that's on the blockchain. And this is the CEO, Mark Long. And that did a 20x in 20 days for us. It was up $5 million so far. This is a company called the Mochaverse. This is actually the digital ID system for the massive gaming conglomerate called Animoca Brands. They actually own or have investments in over 570 blockchain games and other companies, actually. They're in AI, infrastructure. They're in all sorts of things right now. And this is the chairman, Yat Su, here, that I have a picture with. Yat's become a really good friend of mine in the last 4 years. He's been on the show 7 times. We've invested in not only Animoca Brands, but the Mochaverse and about 7 of his other companies. And this has been up 20x on the launch so far, and I think it's going even higher. And so this has been one of our big wins. Folks, this is a company called Story Protocol, and this thing has been up 22x since we invested. And we here invested alongside one of the biggest VCs in the world named Andreessen Horowitz, or A16Z. Martini, this has been all the talk inside our Telegram group, because this token is just going up and up and up and up and up. I think it hit $6.50 last night. The all-time high is $7.20, and it's about to blow through that. It's almost worth $2 billion, this thing. It surpassed the Trump coin and surpassed WorldCoin, which is Sam Altman's I'm going to scan your eyeball orb coin, you know? And so this has become one of our biggest and most successful investments so far. And of course, this is one of the meme coins we invested in. It was called Cats on the Ton ecosystem. And here we have one of our members named Christina and her mom. They actually both put in $30,000 into this deal, and they woke up the next morning to a $420,000 profit. Who would like to wake up to that in your wallet, right? Not bad for one day's work. She actually thought the phone was broken. She sent us a message and said, my wallet's broken. And we're like, it's not broken, Kristen. That's your money. And it was just, look, it's not enough to retire on, but it's enough, to have you create a good week and to really give you some room. Again, some freedom is what I think the money gives you. And of course, this is the $1 billion fund we invested in called 1RT. This is the guy that runs it. His name is Dan Tapiero. He's a legend. I think he's the greatest trader I've ever met. And I've met some of the best in my life, especially when I worked on Wall Street. He's invested in all the companies you see here. And honestly, about every 2 weeks, one of them goes public on the New York Stock Exchange. So here he is on the bottom right, hanging out with Jeremy Allaire for the public listing of Circle. Circle is probably the biggest IPO of the year. At one point, it was up 10x. It's not a token. It's a stock, by the way. And it's been a huge, huge thing. Stablecoins have been called the ChatGPT moment of crypto, when everyone woke up and said, oh my gosh, this is happening. And Dan is an excellent trader. We're up 4x so far in our investment on the $1 billion fund. And now, as you can see, Martini in the chat, everybody wants in on his next fund called 50T Holdings. 50T is what Dan says he believes the market's going to be worth. That's 50 trillion for the entire digital asset ecosystem. We're currently at 4 right now. Folks, I want to share with you some of the latest deals that we're doing. And what you're going to see here is 2 things. You're going to see deals that we're currently investing and putting money in. You're also going to see the format on how we evaluate deals. Has anyone seen that show Shark Tank in America? Anybody seen that with Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary? Well, we do a better version. Ours is more fun. I dress better than them, right? And we allow our members to actually invest. And so what we do is every Monday and Thursday, the CEOs come on our show and they pitch to us. And I ask them hard questions in real time. And then if they answer really well, the entire community votes up or down. If we get enough yes votes, we fund their company. So what you'll see here is the CEO pitching, I'm asking questions, and you'll see our actual members telling you what they think. By the way, both of you guys, I hope, will join us Monday night at 7 o'clock for our investment club call right after the Crypto and DeFi Academy. And you guys can really see how this works behind the scenes. I would always say, look, some of the terms might go over your head at first. Maybe they won't for you. I mean, maybe not for you, Andreas, as well. But I'm telling you, after 2 or 3 calls, you'll be like, yeah, I get this. I can really do this. And we've had some people join us that have never bought crypto before, but after 3 or 4 of those live calls, they've made their first investment. And so what I first want to show you is a deal called Crypto Nights. Now, Crypto Nights is pretty exciting because it's actually what I'm going to show you first is OneFootball. I'm going to show you OneFootball. OneFootball is a football media and streaming company, football as in soccer, that's been around for 10 years. They have 30 million registered users on the app, and they're bringing them all into blockchain for the first time. One of the reasons I love this deal is because most people in crypto are doing the opposite. They're trying to take their crypto product and go find customers. These guys have customers, and they're actually going to now bring them into the crypto ecosystem. And that's one of the reasons I love this. This is OneFootball, and there's actually still room left if you want to invest. This could easily be a multi-billion-dollar token.
It's just absolutely crazy.
It's better than anything I've seen.
It's a great opportunity.
I definitely would like to invest in this one.
OneFootball is a giant in the football space. We connect the industry with fans. We talk about 30 million users that are logged into OneFootball. 200 million users we reach with our content experience, our video network. That makes us the biggest data provider and data owner in the football space. Every blue chip football club like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG are shareholders in OneFootball, which gives us unique access to these clubs, but also unique insights of what the clubs are looking for. We are streaming roughly 8,000 to 9,000 football matches a season. We are, I would say, one of the biggest football streamer on the planet. We are not looking for short-term gains or anything. For us, it's really long-term.
Why take this beautiful business and screw it all up with a token?
And the answer is simple. It's the user data. Fan identity is for us the next level, and the token is a tool for us. We are in the brilliant position to leverage that fan data and Web3 product in the future with the Fan Identity project.
2 thumbs up if you love this project, 2 from Marco, 2 from Nicole, 2 for Hausler, 2 for Todd. So it looks like 100% thumbs up.
It is a great opportunity for people to move from Web 2 to Web 3.
By just looking at their app, it's mind-boggling. It's amazing.
They've been in business for a while and they have a good thing going. I felt like they were upfront about things. I felt like they were people that you could trust.
They're definitely thinking about the community and doing this methodically. I love everything that they're doing. They're doing a great job. I really love this project.
For me, it's 50 million. That's the number that just sells this, that valuation. It's just got a ton of upside. Could it go to 500 million? Could it go to $1 billion? Easily. Could it go to 2 billion? That's 20x, 40x. That's like real money. Cool. What do you think of that deal? Pretty interesting, right? The company itself is worth just about under $1 billion. We're getting access to the token at a 50 million val. So if the token becomes worth as much as the company, which isn't that far-fetched, then that's a 20x. If it becomes the football token, then it could be like a 40x. And here's the crazy thing. A few of our members in the club told me that they had all independently downloaded that app over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. One of our guys' name's Jose. He's got 3 sons that are also kind of part of the club. And they all use the app and they've all downloaded it in the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And they all say it's amazing. So it's something a lot of people use, and now they're on the blockchain. Plus Animoca Brands is behind them 100%. We love this deal. You know, we like an unfair advantage. We like someone who brings something unique to the table. We like someone who's doing something different. And we like getting access to a deal that normally most people wouldn't get access to. Let me be clear. The only reason we're seeing this deal is because the CEO wants to be on London Real. And so again, I'm always really careful about any deal I get access to. I don't know if you remember that. Have you ever heard that Groucho Marx quote, Amin or Darren? I'd never want to belong to a club that would have me as a member. You ever heard that quote? That's always me. So whenever anyone shows me a deal, I'm like, okay, yeah, what makes me so special to get access to your deal, right? I'm always suspicious. And so when I see a deal like this, I'm suspicious because it looks almost too good to be true. But the only reason we got the introduction is because of Yat from Animoca. And the only reason we get access to the deal is because they want our media. And otherwise we wouldn't get it. And I know a lot of people who would love access to that deal that won't get it. So again, that usually ticks my paranoia boxes. Look, the next deal is called Crypto Nights. It actually is the Shark Tank for crypto. They have their first season on Amazon Prime Television. You can go watch it right now. And it literally is about 6 nights, which are like sharks in the Shark Tank. I know about 3 of them. They've been on the show. So I know Kyle, I know Brock Pierce, and I know one of the guys from Blockchain Founders Fund. You'll see him in this trailer. And 4 of our portfolio companies actually went on this show and raised money, including Blue Whale AI, who raised $1 million on that show. And they're one of the most anticipated AI on the blockchain companies. Is going to be massive. The token should be out in a couple months. But we like this company. One more thing about Crypto Nights is that when we invest in the token, we get access to all of the tokens of the companies that go on the show, because you have to give like 5% of your tokens to go on the show. And only the best companies go on the show. And here's the thing, I mean, the people that go on the show get funded by the Knights. So it's almost this flywheel effect of it's the best of the best go on there. You get their tokens, and the Knights that are on there invest their own cash into those companies that makes them even more successful. So you're almost in this really fascinating loop of success. And the other good thing about Crypto Nights is it understands that sometimes you need to find a new way to find a new audience. Doing via media as opposed to social media or ads is one of those ways. Anyways, this is Crypto Nights.
It looks like a very good project.
Production value is really high.
We've never seen anything like it.
There's a lot of opportunity here.
Crypto Nights is not just a TV show, it is a complete ecosystem. Some people call it the Shark Tank for crypto. Projects from across the globe come and pitch to a very elite set of investors. We're an Emmy Award nominated production team. I've been in the entertainment business for about 20 years. We started generating revenue even before we started filming season 1. We generated $4.9 million worth of token revenue. In season 2, we are anticipating $6 million. Plus, Our goal is really to make this a global brand, and we want to lead this space with Kryptonites.
VC funding for crypto projects is not as robust as it was last year. Is that a challenge for you right now?
From our point of view, that's not a big challenge. Projects need us more now than ever before because we give them access to that capital. Folks like Blue Whale, I think they raised like over $1 million in that one session. So that's where we make that massive difference.
So if I own some Knight tokens, I'm owning a small piece of every company that's coming on your program in the future.
That's true, every single company. By simply buying the Kryptonite token, you could end up owning 100 different tokens.
2 thumbs up if you like this play. Arno's up, Jose 2 up, Christopher is in, Tracy's in, Federica's in, Oliver's in, Trevor's in, Camille's in, KN's in. Dr. Encore, your thoughts?
They've got the media distribution to actually help these projects do well and get the word out.
It has an excellent format. Seems to be very experienced in the media. He understands the crypto market, the crypto environment.
So this is an unusual project. It really is diversifying our portfolio. They already have a proven track record of being profitable in season 1.
I love the idea that it's not only investing in the production company, but also potential to invest in the other projects. I'm really excited about this one.
Okay, there you go. So that's Crypto Nights as well. You get a little flavor of what we do. Again, come by those calls on a Monday or a Thursday. If you DM Martini, she can let you in. And if you're in our Crypto and DeFi Academy, like Amin and Darren and Andreas, by the way, guys, meet each other. We'll hang out on Monday too. But you guys, I'm hoping you'll come right after the call on Monday and just check out the call at least for 20, 30 minutes. Because again, it's great to teach crypto and DeFi theory. But if you know exactly how you can apply it in something like an investment club, then I think it just makes the learning easier to do. So yeah, definitely plan to come along and see us on that Monday. So anyways, that's just some of the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. Just wanted kind of everybody to know that that's what we are up to. You know, a lot of people started asking us in the last 6 months, how does London Real pick so many winners? Because, you know, the first 5 or 10, they're like, you're getting lucky. But after 20, 25 big winners like that, they're like, what's going on? And we thought about it long and hard, and we concluded that success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The truth is, folks, we've been hard at this for coming up on 5 years, which is like 50 years in any other business, because crypto is like dog years, right? We were here back in 21 for the last bull market. We went all the way through the brutal bear market and watched Bitcoin down to 16,000, FTX collapse, everything went wrong. And we stayed with the market. We kept investing. We kept teaching. We kept going to the conferences, and we built a reputation. We built really a whole network of deal flow. And that's really what got us to today. And so that's really why we've been so successful. Now, look, a lot of you probably feel like Drake on the top here, and you've tried to invest in crypto on your own, and you've lost money. Has anybody here lost money in crypto? Anybody? Thanks, Amin, for your honesty. Darren, Andreas, come on, let's be honest. I think most of us have. And then how can you not? When you first get in this space, you know, you don't know what coin to buy. You go on Twitter or X and you take the advice of some you know, kid with a fake name and a fake picture showing you some fake coin. It goes down and you think this sucks and you want to quit. And it really pains me that a lot of people leave the industry like that, because there's a better way. You can come alongside us. You can invest, you know, with a 10-year horizon. You can use our network. You can use our deal flow. You can use our community. And you can really come in for some of the biggest wins of your life. And so I would just say, if you've had a bad experience, trust me, that's not crypto. That's just the way you've been doing it. There's tremendous opportunities here in this business. And for us, it's called the Investment Club. This is the greatest product we've ever created in our 14-year history. It's one of the last 4 years that has just made millions and tens of millions of dollars for our members. And it's our solution to the problem that many London Realers around the world struggle with their whole life. How do you get out of the rat race? How do you stop struggling paycheck to paycheck? How do you stop stressing about money? Now, I had this problem until I was 30-something years old. Literally, American Express had a hitman looking for me, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of my own way. And we finally figured out a way, and it's through investing in digital assets the way we do it. Now, if you think that saving your money in a bank account is going to get you to retirement, well, I think we all know we're kidding ourselves, right? Raise your hand if you probably know that's a fallacy, right? That's living in the matrix thinking, all right, nice to see all the members of the Crypto and DeFi Academy are with us. And so, look, that's a fool's game. But the scary part is, I'd say 80% of the world thinks that that's the way. put your money in fiat and watch your government debase it over time, or tax it, some call that theft, or inflate it, some call that theft, and so what are you doing? And there's another way. And so I just want to say to anybody out there, we've actually found a solution. And I'll talk more about this later, but if you have to go, just understand the one way to learn more about this program, and pretty much the only way to join, is to book a call with Martini. She's been with us from the very beginning. She's curated this community. She's spoken with thousands of people, said no to a lot of them, and said yes to 150 people who are really changing their life behind the scene. She can also get you into our Monday and Thursday investment club calls. So reach out to her through one of these methods. Folks, we also have this 4-week Crypto and DeFi Academy that's starting on Monday. It's an amazing course. We graduated a couple thousand people from it. It's pretty impressive. And it's something that we're just really offering now. It's at a 60% discount right now for $9.99. You can really get to know this stuff. It's 8 hours of live calls with me. You've got access to our online e-learning platform with all my video modules. You got a triple tiered accountability system, so you really have to do the work. We got dedicated coaches and team leaders and a private group for posting assignments. Week 1, we go through the history of crypto. You read the Bitcoin white paper, the creation of Ethereum, stable coins, you name it. Week 2, we get in there, hot wallets, cold wallets, centralized exchanges, and you do your first DeFi trade. Week 3 is complicated DeFi trades, liquidity pools. You're even going to get an option. And week 4 is all about how to manage that portfolio and make a ton of money in the future. We really think it's something that's complete, and it comes from all my knowledge on Wall Street, even before crypto started. And of course, it's ready to go right now, and you're pre-approved on this thing at londonreal.tv/buy. Come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, here is my 8-step trading checklist. It's just a free gift to anybody watching. You can take a screenshot of that. But if you go through and refuse to make a trade until you go through every one of these things, I guarantee I'm going to save you $10,000, $100,000, maybe even $1 million over your career. Definitely think about this stuff and trade less. That's my motto: trade less. Folks, this is the big news. Nothing stops this train. Now, the Fed dollar crisis predicted to trigger the critical Bitcoin price shock. And folks, you can see the big news here, and it's happening pretty much everywhere. And the institutions now are in a race. They're worried that they're no longer going to be relevant. Some people are calling this Money 2 or Money 2.0. With the Stablecoin Act that passed 2 weeks ago, we see things like Amazon and Walmart creating their own stablecoins. They're going to take banks right out of the picture. And so what we're seeing now is all sorts of really exciting developments, including companies buying huge amounts of crypto for their treasuries. And we know Michael Saylor is doing that with Strategy. And we know lots of Ethereum companies are doing that now. I'm speaking with a few in London right now that want to do this and want some of our support on that. And this is one of the big narratives. Of course, along that, Bitcoin smashed to $120,000, got to $123,000, and I believe it will break 123 in the month of August as well. Of course, Trump Media, who owns Trump's Truth Social, bought $2 billion of Bitcoin for their own treasury company. And a lot of people don't know this. I don't know if you knew this, Amin and Darren and Andreas, but the Trump family took about 70 years to amass what they say is about $1 billion in real estate wealth. But the rumor is they've made more money in crypto in the last 18 months than they made in 70 years in the real estate business. Isn't that crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? So they've got World Liberty Financial, their DeFi play. They've got American Bitcoin, which is Eric Trump's mining play. Trump's got his meme coin. Melania's got his meme coin. They got their own stable coin called USD1, right? Now Trump Media has its own Bitcoin treasury, and they're doing so many other things out there. It's not even funny, right? So it's pretty amazing that they've made this switch. Now, of course, we were there a few years before the Trump family, but, real recognizes real, and these guys can see what good business is. And so it's great to know we're right on the right path. Folks, this infinite money glitch is this concept that these publicly traded companies on the New York Stock Exchange can buy Bitcoin and then take the rise in stock price, the money there, to buy more Bitcoin. And that's what's called this infinite money glitch. And we're seeing it now with all these treasury companies. And, it's going to be something that becomes the next big thing. Ethereum, Solana, BNB, they're all going to be companies trying to acquire more of this wealth. And again, you can see here, it's a financial engineering approach. And this is what Michael Saylor doing. They issue debt and convertible debt from their company. They take that money and they buy more Bitcoin with it. The stock price goes up and down and is more volatile, and they issue more debt and then buy more crypto. Does everyone see this happening out there? It's crazy. Michael Saylor was on CNBC this morning. He just bought $2.5 billion of Bitcoin. He owns 630,000 Bitcoin. And they say to him, like, would you buy it all if you could? And he's like, well, I don't want to buy it all, but I'd like to buy as much as I can. And he's just going to keep buying and buying and buying. And he really is a refiner. He calls himself a Bitcoin refinery. And he strips the risk off of Bitcoin and packages it into different things. A lot of ways you would take oil in and refine it into gasoline and petroleum. And everybody has a use for these individual products. Michael does that with Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin has already been called for 150K in weeks from now, which it could easily hit. And Standard Chartered Bank is now called for a $500,000 Bitcoin, which could happen this cycle. I just had Michael Turpin in here, who wrote a book called The Bitcoin Super Cycle. He's an OG. He's been in Bitcoin for 11 years. And he said, Brian, the cycle's over basically end of November. He says, I think Bitcoin's going to 200,000, but it could go to 500,000. It very well could. And of course, we now know that a new wave, a $15 trillion earthquake, is heading straight for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. My question for everybody on this call is, are you invested enough? And most people just aren't at this point. And I would just say, what would be the worst possible scenario is if you were to be at the right place with the right time, with the right thesis, and you make 100K in this bull market. You're going to kick yourself because the next one isn't coming until 2030. And trust me, BlackRock's going to own that one. So I think this is one of our last chances here. You better walk out of this thing with 7-figure, 8-figure gains. Otherwise, I think you've blown the chance of a lifetime. Now, a lot of you know in 1999, I moved from London to New York City to be the CFO of a dot-com startup company at the tender age of 27. All right. Now, look, that boomed and busted, and I never made money in the tech boom, and it killed me. Right. I can see all these people making money out there. I'm not going to miss my chance here because I waited 25 years for the next boom. Are you guys willing to wait another 25 years for another boom? I don't see anything like this happening again. I just don't. And I just want to make sure everybody can make the money that they deserve. Folks, a lot of you know I ran to be mayor recently on a pro freedom of speech, pro crypto platform. I actually was looking for the entire voting to be on the blockchain, the budget of London to be on the blockchain. And I actually asked for the creation of the London coin. I was going to put 100 pounds of crypto in the wallet of every man, woman, and child and give them a financial education. Now, look, they weren't ready for me as mayor, so I'm just going to make all of you filthy rich instead. Does that sound good? Yeah, deal? Okay, why not, right? You guys deserve it. And this is me in our studio in Dubai for the first 6 months of this year. And it's really the center of crypto. And here I am sitting down with Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni. He runs the Dubai Blockchain Center, one of the most plugged in guys out there. Here I am with Uni Wong, one of the biggest crypto influencers. She can move markets with her tweets. Here I am with Carl Moon. Carl was a grocery store clerk in Sweden a few years ago, and now he's a crypto billionaire, okay? I've seen his Bugatti, all right? He made this happen. And so when I hear people on this call tell me excuses of why they can't do it, I'm like, okay, are you working as a grocery store clerk? No, you're not. So what's your excuse? This is Crypto. He was driving a taxi in Germany a few years ago, and now he's a crypto billionaire. I've seen his house on the Palm, all right? What's your excuse? There are no excuses. Some people say, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I just got a job. I just got fired. I just got married. I just got divorced. Your excuses are your own. The truth is anybody can do this. That's the beauty of crypto. Anybody can do this. It just takes a will and a way. Folks, right now we're investing over $5 million into 15 different blockchain and AI deals this quarter. I tell you that because we know exactly what's going on. I know what blockchain is hot. I know what's not. I know the companies to list on. We see everything and we can give you that information. And it's all because of London Real Ventures. Folks, this is the world's first media-powered investment firm. This has never been done before in history. We've taken a 14-year-old media company with 1 billion views and 5 million subscribers. We've combined it with a venture capital firm with $25 million in capital. You put these two things together and magic happens. And magic is what our portfolio is. What you see here is the best of the best, the creme de la creme of Web3 right here. And each one of these companies has the potential to become a $2 billion, $5 billion investment. And what you see here is decentralized finance. You see Web3 gaming. You see AI on the blockchain, infrastructure projects, you name it, we're involved. And we've just hit a major milestone, and we've now invested over $21 million into 100 different blockchain and AI deals, and we're just getting warmed up. We're bigger than most funds in crypto. And we started off as a media company. It's crazy. But this, I think, is the business model of the future. One of the reasons we win is because we invest with the big multi-billion-dollar portfolios. Names you've heard of like Coinbase Ventures, ARK Invest with Kathy Wood, Andreessen Horowitz, even Warner Brothers Music, we invest alongside of them. And of course, we were honored with a big award as the best venture capital KOL of the year. KOL stands for Key Opinion Leader. And I went to Singapore to accept this on behalf of all the members of our club. Of course, I recently got the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Global Family Office Summit in Dubai. And we also like to constantly represent in the crypto community and let everybody know who's boss, right, Martini? And so, you know, when this kid was talking trash about me the other day, I had to lace up those gloves and teach that young man some manners, 28 years old coming at me like that. So look, that was a crypto fight night. We like to represent, and apparently he wants the rematch, Martini. So October 1st, Singapore, get your tickets now. Folks, we think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. Does anybody feel that way or like to live their life that way? Good. I like to see these hands up. My guys right here. Good. Because if your hands are up, might as well get off my call. I don't need you in my life. I only want super positive people that want to go out there and change the world. Look, folks, I'll be honest. Back in 2020, we were facing some serious censorship. We had trillion-dollar tech companies trying to shut us down. And what do? We fought back and we won. So we've done this before, folks. We've changed the course of history, and we're going to do it here. We're going to make a boatload of money. We're going to decentralize the world. We're going to have a good old time doing it, and we're looking for people that want to join us. And it all comes down to our mission statement here, which is written on our wall back here in the studios. We're here to create a mass-scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. Martini, I had 3 different guests in the studio this week, and I showed that to them. And they all stopped. They take a picture of it, and they're like, wow, this is deep. And I'm like, yeah, it is. There's a reason we're successful, I think, because we're doing it for the right reasons. We're trying to give you your power back. We all want to cooperate, not fight with each other. And that's one of the reasons we've been so successful. But as you guys know, for me, it's not just business, it's personal, because I got these 2 little fellas to look out for. And I'm quite frankly concerned about their future. I'm worried about, their government printing more money. I'm worried about their banks censoring their transactions. I'm worried about AI-powered robots running their lives. And so when they come to me in 5 years and say, Papa, where's our Bitcoin? I'm not going to give them some excuse, And so what I do, if I'm honest with you guys, I take risk every single day so I can provide for these boys in the future. And if you think you don't have to take risk, you're kidding yourself. Playing it safe is probably the most dangerous thing that you're doing right now. And if you think you're going to save your money and your government's going to take care of you and your corporation pension's going to take care of you, you're kidding yourself. You've got to get involved in digital assets. You've got to unplug from the matrix. You've got to unlearn everything you were taught in school and throughout your life because it's just not true. And you better take some risk. Now, if you do that, you can set yourself up for life. And that's what we're doing behind the scenes. Folks, this is Michael Saylor. I've been talking about him tonight, and he thinks that Bitcoin is the apex property of the human race. Michael now owns over $70 billion of Bitcoin, and he's buying another $40 billion at this point. He thinks each coin is going to $13 million each. And he thinks that AIs and ETFs are going to power a decade-long gold rush for Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people in my courses say, Brian, where do I get my crypto news? What website do I go to? And I always tell them the same thing. I'm like, forget the news websites. Go listen to a Michael Saylor for 10 or 20, 30 hours. Go listen to a Yatsu of Animoca Brands for 20 hours. These are the OGs, folks. These are the ones you can learn from. And so I always tell people, go out there and really listen to them talk. And this is what Michael Saylor said the last time he was on London Real.
We went from investing $250 million in Bitcoin to $425 million in Bitcoin to eventually $1 billion in Bitcoin to $2 billion in Bitcoin to just slightly less than $4 billion.
You said there are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when Bitcoin happens.
So every decade, there's some profound paradigm shift. It's such an out of the blue idea that no one can conceive of why you would even want it. What you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. What if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. I'm going to create a shared immutable ledger, incorruptible immortal, transcendental ledger. If I can transfer $1 million of value from me to you without an intermediary, that means I have transcended the political realm.
You said, Brian, I like Bitcoin because it has low aspirations.
The idea of Bitcoin was, how do I create a protocol that's fair and equitable that I give as a gift to the world that no one can control? If you're going to do it and you understand thermodynamics, and if you have any sense of genetics or biology or physics, you realize you need to be very humble in your aspirations. How do we give the gift of property rights, freedom, and sovereignty and empowerment to everybody on the planet? The best idea 30 years ago was YouTube or Google Maps, Twitter or Facebook or email. I think the best idea for the next 30 years is digital energy. Everybody can own their stuff and nobody can take it away from them.
All right, we like Michael. We feeling him, right? Amazing, amazing. I still remember my first conversation with him back in 21. It was incredible. He actually told me he watched a bunch of old London Real episodes when he was preparing for Bitcoin, because we had interviewed a guy named Andreas Antonopoulos back in 2015 and 17 and 19. And when he went and did his deep dive in 2020, he went and watched all of our interviews. And that was really cool to hear. He also appreciated what we did in 2020. Look, Michael's the man, and now there's about 150 public companies around the world all amassing Bitcoin and Ethereum in the same way. Look, it's crazy. Now there's BNB treasury companies, there's Tron treasury companies, SUI treasury companies, Hyperliquid treasury companies. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what's happening. And so Michael really wrote the book on this. I think it's one of the reasons we're seeing a surge in crypto, and I think it's going to keep pushing us all the way to next year. Folks, takeaways from Michael is number one, crypto is encrypted energy. It's actually like walking around with a pocket full of energy if you really think of it that way. No government can debase it. No corporation can steal it, because crypto actually transcends money. It's the strongest, soundest money we've ever experienced in our life. And I think it actually changes the way we show up to the world as human beings when we can actually trust that our money will be there. It's quite a concept. Folks, if it wasn't obvious, 2025 is the year of crypto. You've already missed half of it. You're going to miss the whole damn thing unless you really pull the trigger and get invested now. I tell everybody I meet in the streets or anywhere else, you've got to not sleep on this opportunity. And most people are just underexposed, and they're going to realize too late. I'm telling you, you're going to snap your fingers. It's going to be New Year's Eve, and you'll have missed this great bull run, because it's going to come very swift and fast. And I think it's going to reverse itself as well. So where and how do we invest? Well, first you have to find the hottest trend, and I'll share with you our investment thesis in the next couple slides. But there's one thing you have to find that you'll never find on yours. I know this to be true, and that is deal flow. If you think you're going to walk into a crypto conference and find a deal, if you think you're going to go on X right now and find a deal, or go into Facebook or LinkedIn, you're kidding yourself. That's how you're going to lose all your money. Because the difference between a good deal and a bad deal is the difference between the top 0.01% of deal flow. And it's so hard to find. And that's why I spent the last 4 years of my life traveling the world, building relationships to meet the people that are going to share the deals that are going to make you millions of dollars. Now, here I am with my first tour to Dubai, hanging out with members of government. I'm meeting big influencers, venture capitalist influencers. From there, I went to Paris, where I sat down with a really important dinner with some of the top VCs in the world and some of the hottest startups. I'm doing media, shooting documentaries, more VCs, more influencers. From there, I was back to London, sat down with Yatsu of Animoca Brands, went to the Token 2049 conference, more influencers, more VCs. Then it was off to Austin, Texas. I got to hang out with some celebrities like William Shatner of Star Trek, my friend Alex Jones. And in the bottom right, you can see there's 14 members of our investment club. Can everybody see those people down there on the right? What are they doing? I mean, looks like they're having a good old time, right? Why are they so happy? It's because they're making so much cash, right? So look, when you get us together, we have a good old time. Look, we're making lifelong friends. We're making a ton of money. We're changing the world forever. I mean, what's not to like? Of course, from there, I was off to Singapore. This is an important part of the trip. I'll be there in 2 months. And here I'm changing the color of my suit from white to orange to red to pinstripes. There's something wrong with me, right, Andreas? I don't know what's going on here. Some people say my mom didn't give me enough attention, and so I'm trying to get it now. Either way, that attention hopefully gets us the deals we need. And I must say that when I wear an orange suit, I get more deals than I wear a dark suit. So I keep wearing the crazy ones. And Singapore is a huge part of the circuit. Of course, from there, I was in Toronto recently for the Consensus Conference, and again, got to hang out with even more members of our investment club, and you can see about 30 of them on the bottom right, getting a little crazy, trying to dress even crazier than me, some of them. And it's just a lot of fun when you get us together. And of course, I always end up back in Dubai, which is my home away from home now. I'm on stage interviewing people, sometimes premiering our films, and of course, hanging out with the big boys and girls like CZ at Binance. Folks, this is what I do to source the deals that are going to create the wealth that I think you deserve. And I believe in doing this the old-fashioned way. Folks, if you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. What does that mean? Well, this is a snapshot of the number of deals we'll look at every single week. We'll pick 2 or 3 or 4 for those calls. And so if the CEO is on that call, you can definitely bet they're one of the best. And that's one of the reasons we've had so much success. But you've got to understand the financial tools. And most of you just don't, because no one is teaching this entire concept of pre-sale tokens. But first, you have to understand our investment thesis. And we believe that early stage Web3, metaverse, and artificial intelligence investments represent the hottest opportunity on the planet. Why? Well, number one, you buy at these super low valuations. Number two, you see the biggest gains possible. Number three, you invest in what I call the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. It is high risk, but the reward is even higher. And of course, we do that through pre-sale tokens. It's wild. No one's teaching this, and no one's giving the access to deals that we are. And I think it's just because a lot of people, especially the exchanges, would prefer if people didn't know this happened, because this is a way for them to make the bulk of the money if people buy with them. But this is where the opportunity is. This is where we can consistently make money. It's our unfair advantage. Now, again, I asked people here if you'd heard of Solana blockchain, right? Most of you have. Well, a lot of you don't know about this pre-sale token. So can you see that red circle there? April 5th was the date. Can you see the blue circle? That's the price, 4 pennies. You could have bought these tokens for on April 5th, right, of 2018. It's all on the blockchain. It's public information. But of course, the exchanges would rather you don't know about this, because why would you pay $200 for a token you could have paid 4 pennies? What happened? Well, you know what happened. It went to $200, and if you had invested $1,000, that would be worth $5 million. Crazy asymmetric returns. Now, what about that $5 million? You know, a lot of people think that, you know, money is the root of all evil. And, you know, it's none of my business how you want to spend your money on me or Andreas or Darren. If you want, you can spunk it on a Bugatti. That's up to you. That's what they do in Dubai. But for me, money equals freedom, right? That's what money means to me. Now, how many people here want more freedom in their lives? Anybody? I think we all do, right? The freedom to quit your job, to start your own business, maybe the freedom to give your money away, maybe the freedom to put your grandkids through college. That's the beautiful thing. And what I'd like to do is give all of you more freedom, so then you can take that and do something beautiful with your life. Now, quick question. Did anybody here buy these tokens for 4 pennies each? Anybody? Okay. Now, why? Let's think about it. Why? Why didn't you get to do that? Well, it's because you didn't know someone like me. Imagine getting a text message from me on the morning of April 5th saying, hey, Amin, hey, Andreas, hey, Darren, how would you like to buy Solana for 4 pennies each? Now, who would have at least liked to get that text message as an option, right? I know, right? I think we all would have, right? But look, I'm not just saying this is hypothetical, because this is what I do every day. This is our Telegram group for my investment club. And every single day I post one of our investments. And if you click on the link, within 30 seconds, there's Crypto Nights right there. You can click that link there. Hopefully you can't see it, or you could invest. And boom, within 30 seconds, you can invest in that deal. Minimum investment is $5,000. Maximum is $50,000. We got a couple whales in my group. They throw $50,000 checks around like it's candy, right? Like it's popcorn, right, Martini? And so you can also skip the deal. You can say, Brian, I don't want to invest in this deal. Not my thing. Great, no problem. And again, I don't invest your money. I think that's an insult. I give you the education and the deal flow, and I let you make the decision. You also will see there's only one way we're investing in these deals, and that's if we have a total consensus of the group, because we need everybody. It's not my decision. Quite frankly, it's just not. We need at least, 20, 25 people to invest, or we can't do the deal. And so it's an incredible way of actually getting access to capital. And it reminds me of one of my favorite movies called Wall Street, where Gordon Gekko, the main character, says the most valuable commodity I know of is information. Now think about this. He didn't say it was a stock or a bond or a bar of gold, because he knew the right information at the right moment in time could make you $1 billion. Now, how many people agree with Gordon, right? The most valuable quantity is information. And that's my job. I deal in the highest quality information possible at the perfect time to give you the opportunity to create millions and tens of millions of dollars. That's what we do. Folks, there's one last piece. How do you create generational wealth? I mean, I'm going to be very honest with you. You got to pull the damn trigger. And that's the biggest problem when most people come on this call. They watch too many videos and they read too many articles and they don't take enough action. And they watch the whole world go by and they never get a piece. They never get a piece. And look, I've been guilty of this in the past, right? One of my mentors said to me one time, he said, research is procrastination in disguise. You like that? Most people research something to death and they do it until the opportunity is passed. And I think subconsciously, they maybe don't want to be successful. Maybe they don't think they deserve the success. And so I'd say for most of you here, you need to get off the fence and try one of these deals, because right now you're scared of a pre-sale token deal. It sounds complicated, it sounds stressful, but once you do your first one, you realize there's nothing difficult about it at all. It's really easy. And when you see those tokens start flying in your wallets, you're going to be like, wow, I'm into this. And this reminds me of a video one of my mentors played me a long time ago of these two lions. And maybe you can watch this and tell me which lion you are in this video. Now, look, I think we've all been both of these lions in our life. And the first lion is probably the lion you've been for like the past 10 or 20 years, right? Here you are watching all these opportunities go by. You're hungry. Man, you're just like one of those tasty little wildebeest coming by here. Man, maybe that one, right? Oh, no, not that one. No, I'm tired. Oh, no, that's not good. I don't have enough money. Oh, no, that one, I just got married. Oh, I just got divorced. Oh, maybe next bull run. And someone else comes in and says, I'll take one of those 20Xs. Yum. And the first lion runs off. He doesn't even get a bite. What's the difference between those two lions, right? They both have the same paws and mouth. They both have the same hunger, except one of them just said, to hell with this, I'm going to pull the trigger. And I'd say a lot of you and a lot of us sometimes are that first lion, sitting there thinking about it, researching it, coming up with excuse after excuse, because you'd rather just find a reason not to. And so try to figure out, how can you be that second lion? Pull the trigger. What's the worst that's going to happen? Let's be honest, folks. We only got 20, 30, 40 years left on this planet anyways, and then it definitely doesn't matter. So what are you waiting for? You know, in the cosmos of time, in the next 1,000 years, none of the decisions you make in your life will matter to anyone. Think about that. None of it will matter. And so why are you so worried about a tiny little decision now? It ain't going to mean a damn thing in the cosmos of time. And yet most of us think it's the biggest deal ever. It's not. So get in there and start pulling the trigger. It's the only way to learn. And that's how we amass this entire beautiful, gorgeous portfolio, by jumping on that wildebeest and taking him down and taking a bite, you know? And some of them were tasty morsels and some weren't as good as others, but we learned every time and we got better and better and better. You all need to start pulling the trigger. And folks, it's all because of London Real Ventures. It's this entity, the world's first media-powered investment firm, that will give you access to deals that are normally referred or allowed to billionaire funds. And it's because of my quadruple threat. This is it, folks. Number one is production. The CEO of these companies comes to my London or Dubai studio, sits down with me for 2 hours, 6-camera, high-definition interview. We create the most beautiful piece of media. Number two, we distribute it to 5 million potential customers. They go crazy for this. Number three, we connect them with the Dan Tapieros and Yatsus of the world. And number four, we write them a big, fat $200,000 check. I'm telling you, Andreas, there's not a single CEO that can say no to this. Not a single one. And that's how we get the top tier deal flow that can make you those 20Xs and 30Xs that we've shown you. Last piece here, folks. And again, I just want to be a little sensitive here because this one upsets a lot of people. So if you're easily offended, you might as well get off the call. But this is a truth that no one's telling you, and I feel like I should tell you. One of the reasons you're having a lack of success is because you're not surrounding yourself with the best people possible. Now, how many people agree with this phrase? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? I think we know that. Andreas is down. It's an old Jim Rohn quote, and we know it's true. But as one of my mentors used to say to me, who are you hanging out with, Brian? Losers. That's why you're getting loser results. That's what he would say. Now, how many of you are still spending time with a toxic family member or that old friend from college and high school that's still acting like the old friend from college and high school? Anybody have someone like that in their life? right? They want to talk about the football game. They want to talk about the Netflix show they spent 20 hours watching over the weekend. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Right? The problem is most of us are big fish in a little pond, right? Because that's nice and comfortable, right? Ah, look how big of a fish you are in this tiny little pond. The truth is, you want to be a little fish in a big pond. You want to be surrounded by big old sharks. That's the only reason you're going to be able to take your life to the next level. And honestly, I took a look through my life and realized that's the only reason I had some success early on, is because you have on the left, Brian, 16-year-old Brian in San Diego making $6 an hour. Look, I would have stayed there for the last, 40 years of my life if I hadn't have found a way to get out. Now, I studied hard at high school and I got into MIT. And you can see on the picture at top, now I am graduating with the smartest people in the world. I got my peer group increased. But now here I am, graduated in 1993. I'm with the smartest people in the world, but I'm broke as a joke. I mean, like every other college kid. But I took those grades and I got a job on Wall Street, and that's me on the right. Now I'm surrounded by 300 of the most alpha male and female traders, each making between 9 and 12 million bucks a year. They were ruthless. They were nasty. I mean, you want a friend, you get a dog at a place like that. It's brutal. But they taught me all the tricks. They taught me how to make a lot of money. And a few years later, I was one of them. And that's the picture on the bottom. Folks, if you really want success, you got to get out of your comfort zone and you got to get around people that are bigger than you. Does everyone know what I'm talking about here? Right? But it's so hard to do because a billionaire isn't going to necessarily want to hang out with you. I hang out with billionaires all the time in Dubai. Do you know who they want to hang out with? I mean, Deca billionaires. You know who they want to hang out with? The centibillionaires. You know who they want to hang out with? Elon Musk, right? Because they know that's the way. And the problem is that the guys above you don't want to hang out with you because they're like, well, what do you bring into the table? So it's very hard to get this type of mentorship. And, that's what we try to do here. Now, let me ask you a question. I'll ask you, what if after this call, you go back to your friends and you say, hey guys, I'm all fired up here. I'm going to make 10 million bucks in crypto this year with Brian Rose. Now, what are they going to say to you, Amin? They're going to laugh a little bit. What if you told your family that and be like, oh no, here's Amin talking about the crypto again. He's probably been drinking again. Oh, here we go. Right? Just like Christmas, last 14 years, he's been talking about crypto, right? They're going to roll their eyes at you. They're not going to always believe in you, And what I'm trying to say is that some of the times the people we surround ourselves with, they don't always want us to succeed. What's that saying, Martini? They want you to be successful, just not more successful than them, right? Or they love you, but they love you just the way you are, right? And so sometimes we really got to change our game. And that's why I created the investment club. So you can hang out with people like Marianne Bartels. Now, Marianne is one of our founding members, and she is a 35-year Wall Street veteran. She's the chief investment officer of Merrill Lynch, Bank of America. She's made her clients tens of billions of dollars, all right? This is Marianne, and this is your new peer group in our investment club. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think Marianne would say if you told her you want to make 10 million bucks in crypto? What do you think she would say? Any guesses? I'll tell you, I think Amin has the idea. I tell you what she said. I know Marianne, right? And I was texting her the other day when she was on CNBC, and she would probably say, Amin, baby, $10 million. Why are you thinking so small, right? Let's make $100 million. Let's make $1 billion over 10 years, right? That's the kind of thing Marianne would say. Now, how many people want someone like that in your life, right? Yeah, you say you do until Dan Pena is yelling at you in his castle at 2 a.m. Yeah, I've been there before. And then you're thinking, I just want my loser high school friends back in my life, right? So, but no, it's an important thing because someone like Marianne is priceless, literally priceless. And again, 30 years from now, when we're all in the rest home swapping stories, do you want to be there, or do you want to have created the life of your choosing, creating a life that looks like a movie? And if you want to create that life, you need people like Marianne in your life pushing you to the next level. That's why I created our club, so you can hang out with someone like Marianne on our calls. This is Tigran. He's one of America's top 100 criminal defense attorneys, one of the most sought after litigators in the world. This is your new peer group. Now, Tigran was out in Beverly Hills recently with Martini and a bunch of our members, took them all out to dinner, bought them all flowers. This guy moves different. When you're hanging out with him, Andreas, he's not talking about the football game. He's not talking about gossiping about the neighbors. He's talking about the next $1 billion idea. This is Andrew Haynes. He's our technical expert. He can jump on a Zoom call with you and explain any blockchain, any gaming infrastructure, any Web3 setup. Here he is graduating from one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland. This is your new peer group. And this is Dr. Encore. 4 years ago, he was in medicine. He actually took the crypto and DeFi course that you guys are in 4 years ago, graduated. And then he was the founding member of our investment club. We hired him a year ago full-time to source deals for us. He's one of the best in the business. This is your new peer group. I got 146 more of these people, all high level. I can't even use some of their names. And you can all be part of their experience in the investment club for the next 10, 20 years of your life. If I'm really honest, guys and ladies, this is how you unlock greatness, is you surround yourself with a bunch of winners. You know, the tokens will help. Don't get me wrong. They will. And the education and all the access we give you. But this is one of the most important concepts. And this is our family, folks. These are a bunch of selfies that I took behind the scenes. And what do you see here? A bunch of people that love hanging out with each other. We love getting together. This is a private event we had in London with one of our portfolio companies. Folks, this is what we do. We're going to change the world, make a boatload of money, make lifelong friends. I mean, that sounds like a good recipe for me for the rest of my life. Folks, I believe your net worth is your network. How many people agree with that statement, right? Get in the right room. Most people raise their hands, but then they never spend money to get in the right network. This is an amazing way to hack your way into a high-performance group that, quite frankly, you're not going to be able to build on your own. So hard to find mentors. If I didn't have London Real, I wouldn't have any mentors in my life, right? But like, not everybody can do that. It's really hard to do this. Folks, I believe you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. We teach people how to fish. We're big on education. And that's why we created the investment club. 4 years ago, we did our first pre-sale token investment. It was Cross the Ages, one of the hottest gaming companies in blockchain. And look, I won't lie, I mean, and Andreas and Darren, this deal scared the heck out of me. Here I was on a Zoom call with this stranger I never met. The call ended. He said, send $100,000 in stable coins to this wallet I'd never seen before. And I was like, bro, what are you, crazy? I mean, my legal has to look at this. I need 2 weeks. He said, 2 weeks, you got 20 minutes or you're going to miss this deal. And he was right. I would have missed the deal and we would have lost a lot of money. And I thought to myself, but these are a bunch of cowboys out here. And here I am, Mr. Hotshot banker, 15 years from Wall Street. Here I am, Mr. MIT Sloan School graduate. And I'm a little freaked out by these pre-sale tokens. And I had an epiphany in me. And I thought, wait a second. On one hand, this is the greatest way to create wealth. If I could show my London Real community how to do this, I could change more lives than all my videos combined. But on the other hand, if you guys do this the wrong way, you're going to lose all of your money. Not just a little. These people can take you to the cleaners if you're not careful. And so I thought, this is the perfect opportunity. If we could create a course where we could teach people how to do this, we could change more lives than we have in 14 years. And I talked to Martini and we agreed, and it's been the greatest thing we've ever done in 4 years. The best community, the most money, the most impact. It's just been absolutely incredible. And here are the details. We're application only. We open up 10 spaces a quarter. They're always gone. We're oversubscribed. Martini's busy pretty much 24/7. Ton of interest now in the Middle East and in the West Coast of America who now want in on these deals now that the regulation's coming. It's 6 modules, 3 months of coursework. It's a 12-month program, but guess what? It's now become a lifetime access program. Imagine spending the next 10, 20, 30 years with us doing deals, making a boatload of money, changing the world. We do weekly live Zoom calls with top CEOs. We do about 3 or 4 a week now. Private Telegram group. You get access to all the deal flow. And if you don't know crypto, no problem. We'll get you access to a full year of our Kings of DeFi for no charge. We've had people start the course with no crypto experience, do their first deal in 3 weeks. Next live call, Thursday, 7 p.m. We teach this remote to about 30 countries. And this is the syllabus. Module 1, what is a crypto pre-sale token? I sent you this already on that PDF. Module 2, what is a SAFT? Who here knows what a SAFT is? Raise your hand. Not a single person. This is the problem. And this is something sometimes I say you all should be embarrassed about, because it's your lack of financial education that will keep you in a cycle of poverty. That's the problem. And there's no excuses. You can look this stuff up online right now. You can really do this right. And so a SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. They're the instruments that the rich use to get richer. And then there's no excuse these days. Module 3 is how to identify early winners. We're going to show you how to do pre-sale due diligence on any company fast. Module 4, how to generate new deal flow. I'll show you what conference to go to, what ticket to buy, what to wear, and how you can use QR codes on your phones to scan these deals back to the group. Module 5, how to nurture these deals into multi-billion-dollar investments. And Module 6, what do you do with all the cash? You're going to make so much money, and I don't even know what to do with it. And I recommend you spend some, you save some, and you put the rest back into these deals. There's our Telegram group. There's our Discord group. And here are the details, folks. As I mentioned, we're oversubscribed. Probably the busiest we've ever been is this quarter because this bull market's kicking off. Martina's extremely busy. There's only 10 spaces, of course. They go fast. The investments in the lifelong membership, the education, the community, the deal flow every week is $50,000. And that gets you the hottest deals in the world. Of course, I understand 50 grand is a significant amount of money. I used to make $6 an hour. I get it. But it's going to get you potentially unlimited financial return. What if that made you $50 million? Probably the best deal you've ever made. That's 1,000x right there. And of course, it's your chance to take part in the greatest wealth creation event of all time. And that's what we're talking about here. And of course, our special investment opportunity, those teal deals I showed you in the beginning, they are ending right now. Now, here's the deal we had last quarter that you missed. And this is a SAFT agreement, by the way. Don't let it intimidate you. And that deal was up 466% in one day. Now, why do I show you that? I show you that because it meant that if you had decided to like stop procrastinating and to stop trying to research it to death and just put $10,000 on this deal, you would have paid for the entire course for the rest of your life. Just imagine if you just came to the calls, you didn't even have to invest money and hung out with all these high performance people. I bet it would make you a lot richer than you are today. But the problem is you probably overthink it and you hem and you haw and before you know it, the bull market's gone. And so most of you are going to miss this. But a few of you are going to get a little angry and you're going to say, you know what, to hell with this financial system, to hell with the bankers, to hell with the people that never taught me anything about finance, to hell with the people that print money and my governments and all these people. I've had enough. I'm unplugging from the matrix and I'm going to take my own responsibility. And I'm going to create a future for my family and for myself. Those are the people that we help typically. But sometimes you have to kind of get a little angry and say, to hell with this. And here's our track record, folks. 20x in 20 days with Shrapnel. $4 million profit was Skillful. 20x on Mochaverse. 22x with Story. 14x on Cats. And of course, a 4x on our $1 billion fund. Folks, we have the track record. How many more of these deals do you have to see before you realize it's not me that's the problem? It's you. It's just getting out of your own head. And look, I know it's a big decision. If this wasn't a big decision, you're not paying attention. But again, it's one of those things that's just an incredible opportunity. And everyone that's joined our club has just never looked back. Folks, this is my pledge to the people in the club. I'm going to create $10 billion for my club in the next 10 years. And at this point, it's probably going to happen in about 5 years. Of course, everyone in my club has a real name and a real story. And actually, everybody uploaded a video talking about how much they love the experience. And if you go to londonreal.tv/club, then you can watch a video for every single one of these people. This is Carol. She says, every member is both a learner and an investor. This is Joe, says the window of opportunity is closing quickly. You're about to miss this whole thing. This is Jerry. He's just honored to be part of the club. He loves it. This is Dr. Yvette. She's a single mom with 4-year-old twins. I mean, what's your excuse, right? This is a busy woman. And here she is, just making it happen, right? Yvette's done about 14 different deals. It's amazing. This is Jens. He says, how can you afford not to join us? Think about that. That's a pretty incredible question. How can you afford not to do this? And of course, there's Petya. Petya couldn't afford the club and she joined anyways. She actually put herself in a position where she had to find the money. And guess what she did? She went and found it. And now she's invested in 65 of our companies, $5,000 minimum. You do the math. And that's why I love people like Petya. The truth is, most of our members are poorer than you, are less educated than you, are less connected than you. They're stupider than you. You know what they have going for them? They have a better relationship with fear than you do. And they just pulled the trigger and said, I'm going to do this. And now they are reaping all of the rewards. And this is Chris. He says, the deal flow is beyond what I expected. Joining was the best decision I ever made. Cool story about Chris. He invests alongside his 12-year-old son. So 14-year-old son. His son walks over with $1,000 and says, Dad, I'm in on that deal. Dad puts in $4,000 and they really invest from there. It's amazing. We got fathers and sons. We got mothers and daughters. We have boyfriends and girlfriends. We have husbands and wives. And this is what Chris said about the club.
what the London Real Investment Club actually does for you. It gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week, and for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
All right, we like Chris, feeling those vibes, right? Chris is amazing. Honestly, everybody's amazing in that class. It's really good people in there. Everybody wants you to win. You know, we don't compete with each other because we all make money on the deals together. And I think that's a rare vibe where people around you support your dreams as opposed to belittle them. Folks, it only takes one. One of these deals can change your life forever. If you don't have one, what are you doing? I recommend people have between 6 and 8 deals going into this bull market to take advantage. Final thoughts. Don't let this year pass you by. You're not going to get it back. We don't get do-overs. You can learn early stage investing now. What I teach you, you can use the rest of your life. Remember, liquid tokens and equity have limited gains. If you buy it from an exchange right now, someone like me has already taken a 50x off it. It's just too late. This is a chance to learn from active elite investors for only $50,000. I know people like Dan Tapiero. If you asked him to source deals, if you asked him for education for the next 10 years, he would laugh at $50,000. He'd probably throw you out of his office. He wouldn't do it for $500,000. He's just too busy. So it really is a unique opportunity. And of course, it's a significant investment, but it's got unlimited financial returns. And now, thanks to Martini, we got a payment plan. So for $10,000 a month for 6 months, you're in. What does that mean? If you have limited capital, 10K gets you in. Then you can put another 5K on crypto nights, 5K on one football, and you got tokens in 30 days and you're off to the races. This only happens now, folks. This couldn't have been happening a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There were no tokens being issued. This is what happens if you join at the peak of the bull market. This is the perfect time to start this, quite frankly. And of course, get you the best deal flow in the world. Remember what Warren Buffett said, the best investment you can make is in yourself. He's talking about paying to get in the right room. And yet most people never pay to be around the right people. Trust me, this is the biggest unlock. Don't sleep on this. And of course, the only way to join is a book called Martini. She's extremely busy, but she is there to talk to you if you're serious about joining now, not next week, not next month. And I recommend that if this is of interest to you, think about it and have a conversation with her. She's spoken with thousands of people. She's told a lot of people no. But if this really is something you want and you will really have the same ethos we have in this world, then we'd love for you to join us. A lot of people think our members are these billionaires with MBAs. No, they're normal people like you and me that want to get out of the matrix and create wealth. That's it. And of course, there's our crypto and DeFi course starting Monday. A bunch of people here are already on that. 4 weeks, 4 modules. It's got all sorts of things like 8 hours of live calls with me, triple tiered accountability, dedicated coaches and team leaders. And again, anybody here is pre-approved at londonreal.tv/buy. We've graduated thousands of members. This really is an amazing course. Folks, what is your why? Why are you here on this planet? That's what I ask myself every now and then. And at the end of the day, it's to really provide and protect my people, right? Now, my people have turned from these rascals to all my London Reelers around the world. But, you know, these are the guys that I think about a lot when I have a tough day or things get hard or I'm faced with difficult decisions. Sometimes I don't know what to do, right? And what I do is when I realize that I got to provide for these guys is I lean into the risk. I lean into things that are going to give us reward. And so if you're at a difficult point or a difficult decision, what is your why? Who are the people you're looking out for? And again, it's crazy. My parents, they're not getting any younger right now. I don't know about yours, but the older you get, you realize there's more people that actually you're responsible for. And I don't know about you, but I'm not going to give these people excuses. You know, when my dad is old and he needs something, I'm going to be able to say, yeah, Dad, I got you. When my sons need something in 5 or 10 years, yes, I've got you. But the only way I can make sure that happens is if I keep taking risks. That's it. And so honestly, I engineer risk into my life now. I'm not always that way, but I do now. Folks, this is the bonus I promised you. Go to londonreal.tv/bonus. It's a video. It's going to show you how to find the hottest crypto pre-sale tokens. So go check that out. That's our gift to you. Better yet, come to one of our calls on a Monday or Thursday and come see the deal flow, reach out to Martini or go to londonreal.tv/club call, and you can see a schedule of that. Folks, I'd love to answer any questions. If you have them, send me a message here on Zoom chat. Was that helpful for you guys, Andreas and Amin? And it was great having you guys here. I really appreciate it. Of course, I'll see you Monday anyways. We'll be going through all the good stuff as well. It's also great. We got Martini here. Usually she's off on a private call with someone who wants to join the club. Martini, love to get your thoughts. Obviously, Martini is going to be there Monday as well on the calls.
Yes, well, definitely good call today, everybody. And it's definitely good to see all the beautiful faces. And I feel like this is a pregame before the call kicks off on Monday, right? And so welcome, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed your time on the call today and you really picked up some of the gems that Brian dropped today and really got to take a look at just another option that is available to you. If there's anything that I know, that it's always good to have options, right? And another thing that I've really taken a look at as well is that money buys you options, right? And so I know that Brian normally has this saying. What's that saying, Brian? When you have money, no, when you don't have money, freedom is one thing, but freedom of speech is one thing. But, you know, if you don't have money, then there's no freedom at all. And so we definitely want to support you guys in having that freedom and also having the luxury of having options in your life. And that is through generating wealth through early stage investing and early stage companies that are here to change the world. So keep in mind, guys, that it only takes one opportunity, one masterclass, one yes, one investment that can really change the trajectory of your life and everybody's life who you are connected to. So we definitely want to support you. And if you are looking into investing in early stage companies with us, we want to support you in that. So I put some links inside of the chat below. The very first link is for you to go ahead and check out the Investment Club page. And that's going to give you a rundown detail of what the Investment Club is all about, what we stand for, where we see ourselves going together for the next 10 years as a community. And you can also take a look at the caliber of companies that we've invested in so far. The next step is the next link that's inside of the chat there. The next link is for you to go ahead and schedule a call with me when you are ready to pull the trigger and join us and start investing alongside us now. Now, I know that quite a few of you may be new to the crypto space. You may be new to investing. You may be new to early stage, but you know that you're interested and you know that, you know, in your, as we say in Vegas, my shanana, like when you know that you feel it in your spirit that you're wanting to join us and you just want to just jump in, but you got some questions and you really just want to know what the next steps could possibly be. The next step, of course, is to go ahead and schedule a call with me and we can definitely explore options and see how we can best support you with your journey. All right. So if you don't see a time that's available on my calendar, please be sure to go ahead and send me a private message on Facebook Messenger. That's always the fastest way to get me. Or you can send me an email at martini@londonreal.tv and let me know who you are, where you're from, and the best time to get a hold of you within your time zone, and we'll definitely make it work. And then the last thing here, I know that Brian does an amazing job of explaining what the Investment Club is, and you can definitely feel his enthusiasm, and it's well earned because we have an amazing community for sure. But we want you to experience us in real time, all right? So the very last link inside of the chat below is the link to actually join us on one of our live calls. We have live calls every Monday and Thursday of every single week where you'll get to see CEOs pitching their companies over to us. You'll see Brian doing the Shark Tank style questions that he does so well. And then you'll get a feel of how our amazing community, we got well over 150 members from all over the world, different walks of life, different financial backgrounds, different perspectives. You'll see how we come together as a community to decide on whether or not we want to invest in these companies or not. So once again, whether this is new to you, whether you're more seasoned in the space, we all come together, we learn together, we grow together, and essentially we rise together. So we want you guys to show up on one of our next live calls so that you can experience us in real time. All right, guys, hope you had an amazing time here. This is just the beginning, and we hope to see you on the inside soon. Back to you, Brian.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Martini. Give it up for that. And I think you were quoting Dan Held, who was like a Bitcoin OG on our spaces, and he said, Brian, freedom of speech is a luxury if you don't have financial freedom. And that was a really powerful statement because, you know, we had gone all out for freedom of speech in 2020. And at the time, it felt like it was the most important thing. But what if you can't, you know, what if you can't power your mobile phone? What if you can't buy a meal? What if you can't put a roof over your head? Like, if you can't do any of that stuff, freedom of speech is just a luxury. And so financial freedom is actually probably the most important thing, because then you can actually have all those choices. And that's just something that a lot of us aren't thinking about. And that's just so important for us. And that's what we're always thinking about in the future. So definitely book a call with Martini if you want to learn more about this. And of course, we'll be talking about this obviously inside the Crypto and DeFi Academy. Look, this is an exciting point right now. And the next 3 months, 3.5 months are going to be very volatile and very exciting. And I would just say plug in. And if you're here right now, you probably know this is the place to be. The worst thing that could ever happen is if you're just not invested enough. So find a way to make sure you can just leave this bull market with something substantial. And look, we're going to keep going through the next market and find out what happens as a group. But I just want to make sure that all of my members create a big chunk of wealth in the next 3 to 6 months that will last them through those times. And that's what we're up to. So that's it, folks. Thank you all for being here so much. I appreciate it. Great to see our members of the Crypto and DeFi Academy. We'll see you on Monday. Get in there, start module 1. Give me your introduction video in the Facebook group as well, because that's how we do it. And we'll see you there Monday night. Lots of love, everybody. I appreciate you all. All right, take care. Bye. The mass scale transformation of humanity, the fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. It's something we live and breathe. We have a mission here. We want to help build the decentralized finance infrastructure of the future. What is your mission? Hey, it's Brian Rose from London Real. How would you like to join my investment club, where I teach you everything you need to know about early stage token and equity investments? Look, right now is one of the greatest times to invest in human history. We've got AI happening. We've got the metaverse that we built on AI, and all of this needs the blockchain, which is what we specialize in here. In my investment club, it's a 12-month program, 3 months of coursework where I teach you all the basics. I want to talk about how capital isn't enough, and I want to talk about how you can upgrade your arsenal of influence in a variety of ways. I teach you how to do basic due diligence. I teach you how to go to a conference and come back with 10 deals. Just go in, bam, 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 bam. This is super exciting, and we're able to do this here at London Real because I speak with some of the greatest guests on the planet. We have an amazing network, and we also have a structure to actually invest money in these deals. Just as a strategy in your business, just keep it simple, especially the first time you do it, but do it at the same time. I'm telling you, this is an incredible opportunity. I've got the best community in the business right now, 75 people from around the world in over 20 countries that are alongside, all investing together. And you can learn and network with the best in the business. No decision is much worse than a no. Something, action, action, action. The clock is ticking. If you're interested in this, click a link below and set up a call with one of my team. They'll walk you through what's happening, the opportunities, the requirements. But I plan on working with this group for the next 10 years, and we're going to do massive things here. And I hope you are a part of it. Click on the link and let's do this.